Yo, you want to join Team Gary V? Join this man, Andy K, and me. Next post. Watch. I'm being dead serious with you. Every single day, I said this today earlier, I probably once a week to 4 times a week sit there truly in the shower, on a flight, when I wake up. Some people meditate, right? Some people work out, right? To deal with whatever anxieties or thoughts they have. I actually sit and truly try to convince myself that I have lost one of the 5 most important people in my life. And that is the biggest thing I do that leads to the biggest happiness I have. It takes understanding that if you're not pumped right now, if you're begrudging what you're about to do, if you're not looking forward to it, look, we're living in a world where there's so much more opportunity. You are a human being on earth. You won the ultimate lottery. And you're not driven, and you're not fired up, and you're not going for it, and you're willing to sit like a lump and just wait till you die, you suck. Let me tell you something about complaining and crying that's really, really gonna hurt for all you complainers out there. Nobody gives a shit. I mean, look, you might not even be alive. Like, your mom and dad could have had sex like 3 minutes later, and you wouldn't even exist, and you're complaining. You could have ended up being a bus, a tree. I just don't get the mentality of being head down sad on a Monday morning. The problem is there's so many millions of people just sitting around complaining, and then they go play Madden for 4 hours. You're a grown-ass man. You're a grown-ass woman. Stop talking about not being able to do it, or it's so hard, or I don't get it, or it's different, or these 20-year-olds are lazy. If you are listening and you're complaining, then you gotta audit yourself. You can't watch House of Cards. You can't play ball all day. You can't go to ballet shows. You gotta work. Go do. Doing, execution is the only narrative. What you leave on the table as your body of work is the game. The following people give a shit when you complain. The other losers around you, your sick, broken parent that secretly wants to hold you down so that you're not more successful than them. And let me remind you one more time. Nobody gives a shit. We need this. Fuck Chicago. Fuck the whole. So it's like, Rick, I get that you think it's hard, and I fucking love you. You're a good kid, and you grew up during a time where you think this is hard. 2 things. Here.
I want to get your opinion on just as a leader. So you talk a lot about leading millennials, right?
Yeah.
So from an IT perspective, That's what I'm in. I'm starting to get a lot of young kids straight out of high school, college, kind of coming into the world with the entitlement. I don't need to work so hard, or why are you pushing me so hard? How do you lead to that?
2 ways. Empathy. You've got to be empathetic to them. It's their fucking framework. No different than your grandfather from a Great Depression thinks that you and I were soft. So empathy, and then accountability. So it's like, Rick, I get that you think it's hard, and I fucking love you. You're a good kid, and you grew up during a time where you think this is hard. Two things. I love you for it, and I don't think you're a loser kid or soft or an idiot millennial. I respect it, comma, if you don't do this, I'm gonna find somebody who does. I'm gonna find somebody who didn't grow up with the same luxuries, who's just a little hungrier, who thinks this is a piece of cake because he's fucking washing dishes right now 18 hours a day. You understand?
I totally do.
Empathy and accountability.
Well, you're just being honest, right?
Correct.
And like you said, that's
not
really
being
hard to deliver.
It's very hard, and it's also very easy for you and I to judge them.
Yeah, and I don't find myself judging
Good.
them, right?
Good.
I mean, I have an expectation, and I want them to meet those expectations.
And that's it.
Right?
And that's it. But you can also acknowledge that they grew up in an era of prosperity, which may contextually make this seem hard. And then what you start doing through that, if you land it properly in the way you communicate it, is they become grateful. Because now you're a mentor to them and say, look, hey, I know you think it's hard, like what I do. Black Plague, Great Depression. Like, once you put things in a context, and then you also talk about, like, look, like, you know, like, the reality is, there's a lot of people that are vying for this opportunity, and I'm held accountable for this success metric, so I have to find soldiers that can do it.
All right, fair.